kinds of other fun stuff that you're not paid well enough for.
But and when we say modelling, I'm not talking about fashion modelling, unless of course you're talking about the t-shirt I've got on, which is very fashionable. Or very topical, one or the other.
Topical.
Which is better than the hoodie I just took off, which is far too topical.
Oh, I could take a guess what that one is, but I won't say it. Seeing as how we're on the air.
Morning, Matty.
Morning, Dan.
Welcome to another Saturday.
Saturdays. What a wonderful day.
Yes, they are. What a pity they're so short. I think Saturday should go for 6 days and the rest of the week should only go for 1.
Pretty fair to me.
How was your week?
Very tiring. Very tiring.
You have a very physical job now, don't you?
I do. And it's getting more physical with every passing week.
It's having to pitch those annoying old people out into the street when they're annoying.
Fortunately, most of them are fairly light. Their crap, however, isn't.
Yes. Why do people insist on collecting heavy shit?
Oh, it's not necessarily heavy shit. It's the multitudes of it, you know.
Yeah.
When you get 100 teacups or 100 coffee mugs.
I pity the person that has to deal with all of my collection of miniatures when they get donated. It's funny in a not very funny way. So, just because it's par for the course, I'm completely unorganised. We have been talking about Gen Con for the last couple of weeks and my attendance and what that's going to require, and that suddenly got me thinking of, well, Todd said something this morning that suddenly got me thinking about having some means of being able to transport some of this stuff to be able to do modelling while I'm on the road.
So I take it discussions with Kyle haven't been productive.
Well, I am going to be painting starter armies for each of the factions anyway, and taking those with me. And so I figure I'm going to need at least a basic set of supplies to be able to repair damage. Because it doesn't matter how hard you try.
Can't wrap them in bubble wrap and people still got to touch them.
Well, it's... I've never had any luck transporting metal miniatures without them chipping or cracking or flaking or whatever. So, I have here somewhere, I don't know if this is going to show up very well. Oh boy, is it dusty. I have a really good miniatures travel case. Wow, the cat hair is remarkable. It's just got these really nice foam pluck trays in it. A couple of layers of those, so you know that one of those is probably good for 4 armies, so we'll need to take 2 of those. And then there might be a case for taking something like that for the paints and brushes and glues and But I've been researching portable cosmetic cases because apparently transporting great quantities of cosmetics is a thing. And they turn out to be, they look very nifty. But I wonder what that's going to do to my luggage bill.
You'll have to abandon clothing.
Well, it's Gen Con.
Yes.
I could just say I'm cosplaying. Cosplaying Jabba the Hutt or something.
Well, get yourself a couple of bags of Cheetos and, crush them up and then smear the dust all over yourself.
That's going to happen anyway over the course of the demo games. Oh, yes. I reckon there's a market there probably for someone that comes up with a substance that repels Cheeto grease.
It's called a flamethrower.
Yeah, but that doesn't work for miniatures. You need the miniature to be able to repel the Cheeto grease.
Oh.
Yep. Need big signs up that says, "Do not touch these miniatures if you've just been eating Cheetos."
Big bottles of hand sanitizer. And chain them to the table.
Yeah.
And a hand washing station. Yeah, actually, get yourself a hand washing station.
Right.
And say, oi, listen. I don't want to take your infection back to my infection-free country.
That's even funnier. Yes.
Yes. I know what I said. I said it for a reason. Because it was funny. But seriously, hand washing stations and, I'm sure Gen Con will be happy to help out with that. Yeah. Maybe. Probably not.
Probably not.
They sound like a business not really interested.
I think they're walking the lines of what is practical to get 100,000 people to do and getting slapped by the government. So,
well, we've just about given up here.
Looks like it. I've certainly given up. But
the codes have been abandoned.
Yeah.
I went to the pub where codes are still mandatory last night.
Yeah.
And nobody asked to see it. Nobody asked to see the certificates. It was fantastic. It was practically back to normal. There were 200 people crowded into a small space.
Yeah.
It was just like the good old days.
100,000 people at Gen Con? That'll be like a record.
Really? I've been told that Gen Con's huge.
Yeah, but it's not 100,000 huge. I think the highest they've had is somewhere in the 70,000s. That was pre-COVID.
Across 4 days or on one day alone?
No, that's the maximum number of attendees, effectively.
So if a person...
Unique attendees across all 4 days.
Right. So that's not the way they count things like at Grand Prix, where if you go the three days of the Grand Prix, you're counted 3 times.
Now, the biggest one you want to go to is the German one, Spiel, in Essen, which is... I went there on a quiet year, and that was 125,000 people. And they regularly break. I think they've broken 200,000. Could even be close to 250,000. So
I don't know about
they do serve beer and pretzels.
They do. They have a lot of beer and pretzels, but it's board games because it's it's Eurogamers. Germany's a mecca for Eurogames, so it's consequently huge. Massive.
The land of Rainer Knizia.
Yeah, yes. Highly recommended to do any of these, though, at least once. Though won't be attending Gen Con or Origins because they're mandatory vaccinations, so there you go.
Well, I've already been mandatorily vaccinated, so
Well, there you go.
It's
So
not,
you can attend.
I can. I'll probably end up having to have 2 boosters between now and then, but, you know,
Who knows?
who knows. I have my international certificate of vaccination, so Gen Con will let me in.
There you go.
Now all I need to do is organise some travel and some visas and stuff.
Yep. And some additional tests and all that kind of palaver.
And some insurance and things. Not
Yep.
that I'll get cancellation insurance, although maybe the world has changed, because travel places, at least pre-COVID, didn't pay out in the event of a pandemic. So,
Yep.
who knows?
Act of God and all that.
Mm.
Anyway, this is
I've-
not the party political broadcast. What are you painting today, Dan?
I've already been subjected to the act of dog this morning.
Oh, what happened?
Oh, we gave
The
her
puppy.
a shark skin chew, and now she smells like fish.
Well, that'll teach you.
See, this is the funny thing. 6 weeks ago, a shark skin chew would occupy her for about an hour and a half. Now it occupies her for about 15 minutes.
Did you get her like the really cute little shark costume to go with it, so she and then play like Jaws in the background? Where she's around, she's like chewing on the thing while it goes da dum da dum da dum da da da. Then you video it, stick it on YouTube, and make a squillion dollars.
Get 1 million views and make $15.43.
Well, something like that. Yeah.
Only if Google agrees with you. politically.
Yes.
Oh,
This is
dog
true.
dressed as a shark, eating a shark treat with shark music playing in the background.
It's not
Is
wise.
there anything wrong with any of those things?
Well,
Yeah, you probably get done over by whoever holds the rights to Jaws.
Oh, you just find someone who's done some music that sounds like Jaws but isn't quite the music that's from Jaws.
Almost, but not quite.
Exactly. No, this isn't the same music.
Has to be
it's totally
15%
off
different.
By at least
one key.
three-quarter notes.
No. I had this really funny moment with her a few mornings ago. She gets this look in her eye, which is a really intense stare. It's the kind of thing that you get out of a herding dog when it's really focused and concentrating on something. And it just happened to be the lab that she was focusing on, and it just happened to be that I was at the right angle and the light was in the right way that her eyes glowed bright red.
Oh, nice.
And it was evil dog from hell. And,
Nice.
it
Demon
was
dog thing.
Demon dog. It was great. I wished I'd got a photo of it, but obviously the circumstance changed far too quickly.
Master, mistress, we're now finished with this shark treat. I'm going to eat your souls.
Something like that. Surety owns our souls, I think. So, this is the result from last week. Sadly, I've had one of those... I've had one of those weeks.
It happens.
Professional work has been trying. So, we can relax and put all that aside today. I think what I'm going to do today is archers. Noble archers. And you can tell they're noble archers because they've got that thing sticking up out of their head.
And they don't have bells.
Bells?
That's right, the nobles.
No bells.
That was a lousy pun. Okay.
The Nobel Peace Prize is
Yep.
because you're not wearing a bell, so therefore you're keeping the peace. Is that how that works?
Something like that, or it's basically it's compulsory removal of the clackers or whatever they call them from inside bells. So you can go around ringing them all you like, but they will make no sound.
It is actually called a clapper. The piece that makes the...
I kind of thought it was, but then I said it and I was like, I wasn't quite sure
Yes.
after saying it.
But it is a
But yeah.
clapper with P's, not a clacker with CKs, because...
Clacker with the CKs. Yeah.
Yes. Colloquially, a clacker in Australian is the equivalent, I think, of fanny in American.
She's a bit of a clacker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
Colloquialism.
it's more along the lines of guidance for insertion is where that word is used. And Matty's gone quiet.
Fran Drescher, are you watching this? Next theme song for you. She fell down on her clacker, and then it'd just be all over then.
Yeah.
I've got that awful mental image in my head now.
You're welcome.
Fran Drescher.
Yes, Fran Drescher.
Can you
Hi,
do the
Fran.
laugh?
No, I can't. Oh, I can hear the laugh. I can't do it. Which is, probably for the best.
Very likely.
Yeah, because we get slapped by YouTube for copyright.
If not, crimes against humanity.
That too. So, I got some new brushes. After last week's fiasco of opening a new brush and having it last 3 seconds. So, these ones came courtesy of Mr. Bezos, but I had such a good experience with them immediately out of the box that I bought another set. So
that's an unusual handle. It's got the broad grip there, the bigger
yeah,
grip.
it's got the big grip. So you get 10 of these, and they are purportedly they're a Siberian mink. So, Siberian mink, Kalinsky's sable, part of the same thing, I think. And a box of 10 of assorteds, and they go down to... Do they go down to 5.0 or 10.0? No, 5.0. So they go down to 5.0, which is super, super fine. And they go all the way up to... That's an 8. So, quite hefty. They've got a good tip on them, and they're less than $40 Australian. Now, when you consider what you pay for a Winsor & Newton, doesn't matter, I think, if I only get a few months out of them.
Well, Winsor & Newton size 0 is about 2 of those boxes.
Yeah, that's right. They're anywhere between $46 and $80 each, those things. And I've had people report that they've gotten 2 of them and 1 has been unusable. And you're just like, that's not a very good hit rate for something that expensive.
I've heard
that is a really good deal. They're actually on special at the moment, $16.99, down from $19.99. American, sorry, my apologies.
Yes.
Just for the listeners, yeah.
I was going to say.
If that was New Zealand dollars, wow.
Well, it's the shipping that'll basically get you, because you don't get the free shipping. But $17 US is about it's about $25 New Zealand, roughly.
Yeah, it's about $25 Australian at the moment, so it's probably closer to 28 New Zealand.
But then you got shipping on top of that, so yeah, as you said, it brings it up to whatever it brings it up to, closer to 40.
Combat Company's got the Winsor & Newtons. I think they're about 26 or 28 or something a brush each at the moment.
So those larger finger grips, are they actually useful?
Yeah,
from a practical perspective?
Yeah, you can see I've got them. The classic pen grip on the triangular section. It's every bit as good as this whole thing, which is a completely triangular section handle. So
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a little bit easier on my poor mangled old man's hands. So yeah,
So you just, for those that are watching, you should always paint the clackers first. Start with the clackers.
Start with the clacker.
Work you.
And then work your way up.
Oh, it's a good thing that YouTube doesn't understand.
Vernacular.
Well,
that's for the best.
Antipodean and vernacular.
Yeah, this is true. I'm waiting for the auto-generated subtitles.
They're always great. They are always great.
You could do like a riff tracks thing on those, could you? Just
yeah.
You excited for Monday, James?
Well, you mean for starting work? Well, I would be if I was actually starting work on Monday.
No, what happened?
There's they changed all the systems for background checks here in Ohio.
Right.
And it's a mess basically. So we're still waiting on something that should take 3 to 5 days. Apparently they can take up to 60 days. So we'll just have to wait and see.
60 days? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, the original background checks are all done via the FBI, or used to be done via the FBI, but they've kind of changed their systems now. Dawn actually found an article on it from last year, from October, talking about it. It's just like ridiculous, because they're going on about all the need to get people hired and all the rest of it, and blah blah blah, demand for employees and all the rest of it. But let's put in a system because everybody has to get background checked. That basically just takes forever. So we shall see.
And did you end up figuring out which were the right drugs to be taking?
None. Yeah.
Right.
I don't do drugs, and it's all the stuff is just the formalities. So it's just like, but it's just annoying. But it's fine.
I do drugs.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I do ibuprofen and coffee. Yeah.
Well, so yeah, caffeine, but I also do lipids and aspirin.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you've got the necessary things because of the thing, but
the thing.
Yeah, caffeine's the only real addiction.
It's not an addiction; it's a way of life.
Thank you for correcting me. Yes, you are entirely correct there. Thank you, Matty. That is, caffeine is life.
I mean, life would be awful if caffeine did not exist. We'd have to stay awake through other means, like pinching ourselves or a swift kick in the nuts.
Can you imagine that'd be like people we arrange themselves by order of, pain tolerance or something to that effect. Why? Because, this is a very long meeting, so we need to be in a circle. So if you see someone basically next to you falling asleep, make sure you pinch them to keep them awake. Would then pinching someone to keep them awake be then considered socially acceptable violence, in the modern world?
Well, no, because you'd have to get their consent. So.
Oh, well, yeah, good point. Okay.
You'd have to wake them up to get their consent so that you could pinch them to
by
wake
pinching
them up.
I'm just waking you up so I can get your consent to wake you up.
That's right.
You have to build that into your next 1879 game, Matty.
Consent has come up a couple of times.
Oh, hasn't it? Oh, you could hear that one go whoosh as it went over his head. Sorry, I found that whole exchange extremely amusing.
Well, that's what happens when you want to make fun of a priest.
Now I'm going to have to hunt down those episodes.
You're looking for the ones in the early 20s.
Okay. Thank you for the guide there.
19 through about 23, somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there.
Can I have the exact minute and second timestamp on that?
I could dig it up
Just
for
kidding.
you.
I mean, I could dig it up for you.
No, it's okay. I've got a trip coming up to Tennessee, so we'll need something to listen to on the way down. Dawn hasn't caught up on any of these things, so I might listen to those podcasts. Will be good. If we crash the car on the way down, though, I'm going to hold you completely responsible, Matty. So,
Well,
accountable.
that'd probably be fair.
why did you hit that barrier? I was laughing so hard. Honestly, Gov.
There are some very, very golden moments in those exchanges. Oh, is that the Roomba I hear?
No, this is a wash you're putting on just to colour it?
It's just a contrast paint.
Okay.
So it's basically a thinned paint with a surface tension breaker, and so they're like a thicker wash, I guess.
So what are you undercoating with now?
Just
Spray?
just the Vallejo acrylic undercoat. Yep, through the airbrush.
Acrylic undercoat.
Yep.
Am I not using a polyurethane one? Are we using something different?
Using a spray or?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
doing it by hand.
Technically, we're both correct, Manny, because it says acrylic polyurethane.
There we go.
So yeah, just the 74.600 Vallejo surface
Bing.
primer.
Being the primer, yeah.
Yeah, and it
Morning,
goes.
Kle.
Hey, Kle goes through the airbrush extremely well. I can blame Kle for putting me onto that stuff. Seeing as he's here.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad I have to undercoat now with an airbrush and not with a brush anymore.
Yeah.
Isn't that like the worst thing ever when you got a bunch of miniatures and you had to sit there priming them with that brush, Chaos Black or whatever it was?
So Clee wasn't trying to get you hooked onto polyurethane by buying a whole bunch of it and saying it's really good, man. Just here's a bag for huffing it later.
Just gave it to me, but that's funny. You
That's
should say
polyurethane
that.
fumes.
That's funny. You should say that because I gave up brush priming a long time ago and just spent an inordinate amount of money on Games Workshop rattle cans.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they are good. They're just so expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, well, this is the thing. I think for the Tyranid army, I think I used 6 cans, and they're $25 or $30 a can. Probably $30
Yep.
a can. So there's $200 just in primer.
And you got to do it in a nice, well-aired.
Well,
That makes you wonder how much of it just kind of disappears into the ether.
so me being me, about 8 years ago, I built my own spray booth. You know, out of a bathroom exhaust fan and a 2-foot batten light and a bunch of other stuff. So having cleaned that thing out a dozen times, I can tell you where all the overspray goes. But I'm still using that spray booth despite the fact that I've modified it half a dozen times since. And to go into the new workshop, I had to modify it again. And one of the things I did a couple of years ago was I added a heater element to it, which is just made out of a floor standing 1200 watt fan heater. The ones that have sort of 4 settings. And so this thing now blows warm air into the front of the spray booth, and the extraction fan sucks the air through the filter and chucks it out the side of the workshop. So I can literally spray all year round. I don't have to worry about humidity. I don't have to worry about outside temperature.
Seems a lot excessive. I just used to grab a chunk of board. That was my kind of spray paint board, and stick the miniatures on it, take it out to the garage. If it was a horrible day, or outside, and spray away.
Yep. Lots of people who do that, who only go out and prime on the days where it's good enough weather to prime, and it's like, well, bugger that. This is my primary hobby. I want to be able to do it when I need to do it. I don't have to wait for the weather.
That was what the garage was for, but
right.
Of course, again, it could get a little fumey in there, but what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? Heck, cough, splutter.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the airbrush now. I can actually have it on my painting desk.
Yeah.
Next to all of my paints, instead of having to go somewhere else and take a bunch of paints with you, or have a subset. I used to actually have a subset out in the shed for a while.
This is literally how far away my airbrushes are. Literally.
Mm.
Yeah. It's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it took a few iterations to get to that stage, though.
Oh, yeah. Struggling with my headset this morning. Been pressing on an ear. It's quite painful. So what has everybody got on their painting desks? Start with Kle, because I hope to actually get an answer out of Kle.
Yeah, I'm still on those guard of the gate. I was probably the last time I dropped in.
Right.
It's been a shitty month, actually.
Well, getting the Wu flu didn't help, did it?
No, and falling on my hand, so that's been a couple of weeks bandaged up.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, so yeah, anyway, they're just about to get their nice wash of magic.
Right. Secret sauce.
Secret sauce is about to go on. Got to do 2 shields out of 24 guys. And then that goes on, and then I can start to work on all of their top layers. There's 24 cloaks to do, so it's going to take a while.
Yeah, right.
And while they've got their little secret sauce on and they're drying, I am going to, because I don't have a dedicated dehydrator for this business.
Oh. Oh.
I am going to paint some Warmaster stone trolls.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Warmaster, that's a blast from the past.
Yeah. I've wanted it so badly as a kid, and I had the rules but not the minis, and a friend had some minis. And I think that's probably around the start of COVID I went and stuffed this and bought some armies.
Nice.
So done a couple of high elf stands,
Mm-hmm.
test ones, and now I'm doing some orc test stands. And yeah. My 10mm trolls are bigger than my 15mm dwarves. It made me realise I hadn't seen another 15mm miniature from this range, so I have nothing to compare it against.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know if these guys are are really short dwarves, or if they're just a, like a more of a rotund man rather than a short dwarf. Because when I put my World War II stuff next to the dwarves, they're pretty much 1 for 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's probably because this is more like, as with 28mm, where they suffer heroic issues.
So this is why 18mm becomes heroic 15mm.
That's what I was. Yeah, exactly right. Whereas the World War II stuff will be more, I suppose, true scale, same as the Warlord games style, where they're a bit smaller.
Yeah, true scale from the perspective of the height of the miniature, not the proportions of the miniature.
Yes.
Because if everybody had heads that big,
or even the hands.
Oh yeah, head and hands. It's like, yeah.
Did I see you're doing Empire?
Yes.
Men.
The humans formerly known as Empire. Yes. Yes,
Humans
I am.
formerly known as Empire. Yep.
Yeah, the second unit of archers today. And we're continuing the green and gold theme. Have you been on Insta this morning, Kle?
No.
I was going to say, I posted an infinity figure last night. Be interested to know what you think.
Well, yeah. How do you get time to smack them in between Demonworld?
Yeah, by not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing building design. I've had no headspace for anything this week. Work's been brutal.
Yeah, hasn't it? Oh, nice.
What do you think of the eyes?
Very anime-esque.
Yeah.
Well, it's infinity, so take that as read.
How's that suit she's wearing?
Oh, it just streams Ghost in the Shell to me.
Yeah. Was it Major Kusanagi?
Yeah, but they actually do a Kusanagi figure. So that's...
No, because it's got leg coverings.
Yeah, that's... But it's actually... I don't know if you can see the face, but it's actually an android. It's not...
Yeah, I did see the lines going down through the eyes there. Is that like a part in her skull?
Part in the skin, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very cyberpunk style customization. I realise you wouldn't have played the 2077 video game.
No.
But that's, a common facial feature on humans. They
Right.
just get their eyes swapped out for
Whatever.
gear like that.
Yeah. But I get these rushes of blood and I go, I'm going to paint some infinity. And I get 3/4 of the way through the figure and I'm like, why am I torturing myself? Why am I doing this? Because they're such beautiful sculptings that, you can't fast paint them. You just can't.
Too much detail, and the detail begs to be painted.
The trouble is that they've usually got a lot of large flat surface areas on them where things like contrast paints and washes and stuff like that don't work. So I was reading... I was watching a YouTube video during the week where a guy was talking about the new army painter speed paints, and he was saying that they're much better for the large surface areas. So if you use the contrast paints from Citadel for the highly detailed, very textured areas, and you use the speed paints from Army Painter for the broader areas, it all works just a little bit better. Something, oh, that's very cool. Sorry, I interrupted you, James. You were going to say something?
No, you didn't interrupt me at all. Can't remember what I was going to say, so it wasn't that important.
Either that or you're just getting older.
What's that? Who are you? Where am I?
Get off my lawn.
Why am I hearing these voices in my head?
I'm ancient, mate. Way older than you.
I
You
know.
young things.
I'm feeling bloody old though.
You 20-somethings, jeez.
20-somethings. Not for a long, long time.
Got one of those at work and he tires me out.
Oh no. Oh. Are you sure he's still in his teens? I'd swear he was 14 or 15 at times.
Sometimes it feels like that.
And yet I'm the one that gets in trouble for pulling him up on being a knob.
I think we just try and make up for it by age and experience. Went out drinking with some much younger friends, and they were insistent on doing the whole rounds of tequila shots.
Right.
Okay, it's fine, but I'm going up to the bar to get them. So I went up to the bar to get the shots, brought the shots back, and we did the obligatory down all the shots, more.
Yeah.
So we went through multiple rounds of this, of the shots. And then the next day, they were just a wreck. Apparently, they were a wreck for like 3 days.
Yes.
And Dawn and I were up and out, just business as usual. And they were like, "How do you do it?" It's like, we're just like absolutely wrecked for like 3 days. But what they didn't know was that when I went up to the bar to get the shots, I was also drinking a full glass of water between each round as well. So fully hydrated for the win.
Yeah.
Come back, do the shots. Yep, no worries. I'm going back up to get the next round. No problem at all.
Yeah.
Smarter, not harder. So, because if I'd done that, I would have been wrecked for probably a week. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. If not longer.
Dirty secrets for anyone who's listening. Hydration is key if you're going to go out drinking with people who are really,
Not sensible about their alcohol consumption.
Oh no! When I was that age, I would have been doing exactly the same thing, but I'm not that age anymore. So, been there, done that. Read the book, got the shirt. Was spent youth and all that stuff.
This is the trouble. You get to sort of the later stages of your life and you realise that all the time and energy that you wasted doing all of this stupid shit could have been so much better spent.
That's just part of the growing up. You can't take it back. All you can do is try and do better moving forwards.
All you can do is try and do something moving forwards.
Actually, that's actually very sage. Very sage.
Man, I'm still trying to waste my youth painting miniatures.
There you go.
This is it. This is
I
it.
got friends who I've caught up with recently after well over a decade, and they're still doing exactly the same stuff as we used to do when we were younger. Their life hasn't really kind of changed much, and it's just like, well, I'm either not impressed by this and thinking you probably should have done better, or I'm actually kind of jealous that you're still spending all your time gaming and spending time on hobbies and stuff. It's actually pretty cool.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Exactly. Somewhere in the middle is the truth, but Somewhere near the middle is the truth. Not in the middle. I must stop saying that.
I'm well and truly in my happy place when I'm doing this kind of stuff.
Well, you do a good job. Do a great job.
You
do a great job, Dan.
I think the fact that I enjoy it so much is why I end up with the results I end up with. Not that I think.
And in the hobby industry, that is key. If you are doing it and enjoying it, and you demonstrate that, then I think that's the infectious quality that gets passed on. If you don't enjoy it and you're doing it because you feel you have to, then it's no longer enjoyment, is it? It's more like a job.
Well, yeah, everybody says
that. And it doesn't mean you can't have off days. So
everybody says that. It's like there's a real truism that says that if you do what you enjoy for a living, you'll never work a day in your life. Because you're too busy having fun to think about it as work. And yeah, everybody has off days, but I used to really enjoy programming. I used to really enjoy software engineering. I used to really enjoy putting software systems together, and that died over time, not because of the computers, not because of the languages, not because of that. It's because of the environment. It's because there are so many people in there now who have such a narrow focus that they've destroyed any ability to make any positive gains.
Yep. Well, running Red Brick, originally it was started as a labour of love, but then over time, it just wasn't. It was just work. So it's finding that balance between the creative component, the part that actually you're passionate about, and the stuff that you have to do because it's a business ultimately.
Yeah. So
anyway,
I consider myself in a very fortunate place at the moment because everything that I'm doing is something that I'm enjoying doing, and obviously it's coming at some point in time where I'm going to have to start taking on some of the tasks that for example, Ross is doing that I won't enjoy. Things like end of year statements.
Yep.
Or Australia, you do quarterly, tax submissions and things like that, and it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, some of that stuff's necessary stuff, but it's when the balance, I guess, or the pendulum swings too far to the side that's not fun and sticks.
Yeah.
A little too long. That's
That's
the thing to watch out for.
I get it.
Like, Matty's already jaded, so because he's quiet.
Jaded.
Yes, that's. I was tempted to go there before you were, Matty.
Egra says hi. So they look like noble longbow archers.
That's exactly what they are.
And I'm sorry, Egra, if I mispronounced your nick, but could be Agra. Because there's two G's, so it could be Igra. That sounds very orcish, though.
This is where you get to the part of the live stream where your hands are starting to complain.
So this is the part where we remind listeners that Fredonia Con is on.
Absolutely.
FAS's Discord is the place to go. You can go fasagames.com and all the information should be there. Weekend of February the 18th to the 20th, I think.
That's right. Yeah. I think it's next 18th, weekend. 20th. It's next weekend.
Next weekend.
Yep. Oh, goodness.
American Central
Times is the times that are listed. I will be running a Demonworld demo game.
Ooh, next weekend.
Yeah, it'd be on the Sunday for us because it's the Saturday afternoon slot.
So you get the pleasure of pushing Dan around if you want to join that game, or not really pushing Dan around, but pushing some miniatures that Dan might be pushing around.
You'll be telling me to push them around because it's
Which is kind of like pushing Dan around.
yeah.
So.
Well, it is. Yes. After this week at work,
And it's free.
believe me, I'm used to it.
So the price is right.
For us is yes, good. Now, question is, did I give that guy a leather jerkin, or did I give him a steel jerkin? I gave him a steel. But leather in the back.
Steel breastplates.
Steel breastplate. So you'll notice I've been using this brush for more than 5 minutes and it's still got a point. And I'm using contrast paint and it's still got a point. So
Thanks, Jeff Bezos.
thanks, Mr. Bezos. Please think of me as you buy your next Lamborghini.
Build your next giant spaceship.
Or
thing.
in his case, it's probably your next country.
Moon colony, perhaps.
Moon colony, yes.
You need to check out the Bo Burnham comedy Inside on Netflix, where he does several musical numbers called Jeff Bezos 1, Jeff Bezos 2. And that's all I'm going to say on that. It's brilliant. It's brilliant, and that's basically it.
I don't know. There's so much outrage about all these, corporate high-flying millionaire, oligarch type people, and history's always had them. They've always been there.
My history never repeats, according to Split Ends.
Well,
I tell myself as I go to sleep.
it just depends on how much onion you put in it.
Well, I didn't use any onion on the turkey that I cooked yesterday, but I did use sage.
Well, that was a very sage thing to do.
It was the right thing to do. It's from some friends of ours in Tennessee who make homemade spice blends.
Very nice.
This is a particularly good one called Sage Sisters, and it came out very well. Now I just need a few more 20-pound turkeys to practice on.
Well, I work with a few of them, but
You can send them over.
you might get in trouble for cooking them.
Oh, it's all right.
I get
Come
in
from a
trouble
cannibal
just for
culture,
talking
remember,
to
so
them.
it's all good.
No, and the man
Come from
keeps
the
pigs.
capitalist culture. Got me dog out there, man.
No, don't eat dogs. I won't say what I was going to say because YouTube will probably shut the channel down. It's a good old song when I was growing up. Poo-ha and Parky-ha. You'd have to look that one up.
Yep.
Yeah, I was waiting for the English translation.
Well, basically, it's the whole cannibal culture, long pig, puha, and pakiha. It's basically like vegetables and the other white meat.
Oh, right,
So,
yeah.
long pig, I think, the vernacular.
Captain Cooked.
Captain Cooked, yeah. Well, he did land in the bay. He did land in the Bay of Pigs, so
That works both as a noun and a verb.
Crisis. So, viewers, now we've actually crossed the threshold. We've gone to cannibalism. What next?
We watched a doco last week, and it was about a veterinarian who had a very successful veterinary business in America. I can't remember where it was. I think it was on the West Coast. He basically worked himself to the point where he suffered a heart attack, and his business had consumed him to the point where his family had failed, and he got fed up with a whole lot, bought himself a 53-foot yacht, and just sailed off into the Pacific with one of his daughters aboard. The interesting story there is that he didn't have the permission of his ex-wife to take daughter out of the state, and so there was a manhunt. And so
Interpol got involved. Yep.
When they turned up in Hawaii, there was problems. But anyhow, he just kept sailing, and he ended up. I can't remember where he ended up, but he I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Bob.
Kate, short for Bob.
No. Well, we can do the Bob Kate joke if you like. He ended up meeting a much younger woman called Nancy, and she was in her she was in her 20s or something like that. And she ended up sailing with him, and they sailed around the world. Then they sailed around the world again. Then they sailed around Antarctica, and it was just fascinating. The yacht was called Awani. Why I can remember the name of the yacht and why I can't remember the name of the people, that baffles me. But it was just that whole. But the reason this popped into my head is that they followed a lot of what Cook did through the Pacific.
Interesting.
That whole circumnavigation thing, and this was in the 60s and 70s too, so they had no GPS. They did the whole lot with Latin, the traditional navigation methods, and it was fascinating. It was really interesting. What was that?
Sailing around the world without GPS, using traditional methods for years on end.
That's what they wanted to do. That's what he was happiest doing. And all turns out that he was a remarkably good sailor. He could get that boat to go very, very quickly. So, and she turned out to be a remarkable navigator, extremely good. So she tells a story about how they're starting the circumnavigation of Antarctica, and she got seasick, and she didn't normally get seasick. She gets to one of the Antarctic stations, and one of the doctor checks her out and says, "You're pregnant." So she wasn't seasick at all. It was also a really sad story. They went ashore at an island in Hawaii, and their 21-year-old son went missing and didn't come back, and they found he'd fell off a cliff. So there was certainly low points in it. It was just a really fascinating story. They just abandoned modern life and went sailing and just kept sailing.
There's an appeal on that sometimes.
Yeah, like any time between 9 and 5 last week. Right, Kle? Oh, it was just one of those weeks.
It happens. But you made it through.
Well, yeah, but I like every single day, 5 days in a row, I ended up arguing with idiots. They ended up dragging me down to their level and beating me with experience, and it's just, ugh.
Almost enough to want to make you rage paint ponies.
It is. It is. And if I had some ponies, I'd be rage painting them. I don't. I have some on the way.
Thanks for bringing in that again. Oh, man. Okay.
We're going to have to get T-shirts. We really are going to have to get T-shirts.
It has to be done.
Has to be a pony there with a rainbow coming out of its clacker. It's something along the lines of "I've been rage painted."
I'm so mad I could rage paint a pony.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll only work if you wear it around a nerd environment like a gaming convention, because people will actually stop you and go, okay, what's the context?
I'm sorry, it's an in-joke. I can't tell you. Oh, what am I up to?
Goblins?
Metal. Oh, the goblins are on their way.
Yeah, goblin army.
Yep. Goblins are on their way.
Actually on the way?
They are.
Bug riders are us.
Well, I'm planning on distributing those insects a little bit wider and doing things like putting wood elves on some of them, like wood elves on beetles, I think. So, if I do the clicky and then wait an hour, because this website is the slowest website in the world.
You could have 5 of them, 5 of the wood elves riding bugs, and you could call them Ringo, Paul, John, George, and the other one.
The lost one.
Apu.
Apu.
Yeah. Hey, they're riding beetles. No, they are the Beatles.
Yeah.
Man.
So, yeah, they've suffered an operational delay in France as of yesterday.
Probably caught up in the impending war.
Between France and...
Well, not between France and anyone, but the whole Ukraine flashpoint.
Oh, right.
NATO and the Warsaw Pact.
Yeah.
It's just about that.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Well, Russia and China, but yeah, it's not. Yeah. It's a watch this space. We'll see what happens.
I haven't been keeping up with that, so I don't know
haven't you?
exactly what's going on. I did know that there were tensions on that border again, but...
No, it's not really tensions. It's just a lot of saber rattling.
Yeah, right.
CNN reported less than 4 hours ago, new intel suggests Russia is prepared to launch an attack before the Olympics end.
Yep. Because apparently we want war, so I'm not quite sure what's going on. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that would be disappointing in the extreme. Do we know why? Like, is it a reconquest thing? Is it a...
No, it's nothing to do with that. It's basically just it's a buffer state type of arrangement in simple terms.
Between Russia and NATO.
No,
Yep.
Ukraine.
Well, Ukraine is just conveniently positioned between Russia and the West.
Yeah, the
People
buffer
probably call me out on this one. And there's a lot of posturing going on. Long story short, it's coming to a crunch. So
Ukraine isn't even a resource-rich country, is it?
correct. Yeah.
No, but it has.
Well,
access to them.
it has
Russia, don't they?
parts. Yeah, it's not super critical like that. It's more the fact that if they become part of the NATO pact, then you can start actually pushing weaponry and stuff literally right up against Russia's borders. So they're kind of talking about missiles, 5 to 10 minutes to Moscow and all that kind of stuff. So
oh boy.
Yep.
I'd hoped we'd seen the end of that kind of stuff, but
there's other stuff going on. It's just one of many geopolitical markers that are kind of being moved around at the moment. That's how I tend to refer to it.
I guess that
So I
stuff
watch all this stuff like a hawk.
never
Nothing better to
really
do.
stops, does it?
No. There's more. There's far more to it than that, but
Yeah, there's the big guy's $10 million a year. Or was it 80?
Hey? What have I missed there?
Nothing that can be said on air.
Oh, right. Okay.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. A lot of this stuff is not for public consumption because everyone has opinions. So, as it should be.
I find myself ignorant.
No, you're okay. You're doing the right thing, which is painting miniatures well.
Yeah, I can definitely recommend these brushes. Definitely.
When's the name?
I got them off Amazon.
Ah,
Yeah.
the golden maple or something?
It's the ones.
Yeah. Yeah,
They're really
Artists
holding
never
their-
finished.
They really are holding their shape well.
It doesn't say things like golden maple on it, but like
Oh,
I think
it
down the
had it
side
on the
of the
brush. Yeah,
oh,
that was
right.
how I looked it up. But
Yeah, right.
Yeah, golden maple. There you go.
I have those as well.
Yeah.
I gave them a shot off Amazon. They
Yeah.
were alright.
This guy, I don't know why I started with the most metal guy, but I did. Never mind. I feel like I've been painting this one colour and this one miniature for an hour.
it's just how you roll. Go for the most metal.
I'm certainly better at rolling this week than I have been in the past. I've been eating a lot of crap. So, does that mean the Olympics is happening right now?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Where?
been for a week in somewhere in China.
Oh, right.
Beijing, somewhere. We're calling it the Beijing Olympics, but
The ski jump is right next to a nuclear reactor.
So they don't deviate off the course. Unless you like glowing in the dark.
They were the jokes about how you could tell a Soviet sailor from the North Sea Fleet. It glowed in the dark.
Well, of course, Chernobyl's on the border of Ukraine and Belarus, so
Mm-hmm.
the quote-unquote Chernobyl zone. Belarus pronunciation, sorry.
I wouldn't know which of those was correct or not.
I don't know either, I just say how I say it. And make no apologies.
Of those two countries, only one of them wants to be part of Russia.
Breaking news, our local football team made the Super Bowl. So, who day?
That was weeks ago.
Go the Bengals. Yeah, true. That was last. Yeah. Well, I missed that chat. But
Could recap a moment from the Etherstream company meeting last night where somebody was talking about the Super Bowl and I suggested that you weren't ever going to get to see the best bits of Janet Jackson ever again.
I'm sorry. That was hilarious.
Somebody suggested that there weren't any, and I did say that best was relative.
She's passed it now in a recent interview. She said, I'm just totally over it.
Yep. Why wouldn't she be? She's got a family to look after now, so...
No, the big thing at the moment is the DHS, our Department of Homeland Security, is issued alerts saying we need to be careful because truckers are forming a convoy that may possibly threaten the Super Bowl this weekend. So,
oh yeah, I remember seeing those reports. I'm thinking, seriously, it's called tailgating.
I just called it traffic. It's just normal traffic for kind of LA. So this is
how do you tell?
Babylon B even issued a report to that one. It was quite hilarious.
I mean, it's the LA Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals, and it's being played in LA. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of traffic. It's not a bloody terrorism convoy or any crap like that. It's just so stupid.
Got to sell that copy, Matty. Got to sell it. Got to turn it into something.
Yes, I am pretty much over the state-run media.
Oh, I go to Babylon B for my news. It's much more accurate.
You're not wrong there.
The Onion?
No, Babylon. Oh no, the Onion's lost it.
Is it?
Babylon B. BABYLON BEE.com. It's hilarious, but it's also kind of scarily accurate. Jen Psaki says everyone will have to show proof of vaccination before receiving free crack pipe.
Sounds like something out of Dan's hometown. The Victorian government being famous for building injecting rooms next to schools.
We don't get the crack pipe, we get the gas pipe. Mind you, our Thunder's been completely stolen as the most prison-like state in Australia.
Yeah. Good old McGowan. Tired of being one up by you guys, he's decided to just go full
Double down.
R-word.
Yeah. Double down, triple down.
Sorry. And I am genuinely sorry.
Well,
He's requiring fresh tests for everyone for every single time they cross the border.
Yep.
Including, airline stews and captains and all that.
mhm.
Even if they're only spending... The only time on the ground they're spending is to walk from one plane to another.
Mhm.
That's it. It's
Yeah.
just so stupid.
Yeah. And the fact that the RATs don't work that well doesn't enter
Slightly
into the
better
equation.
than PCRs.
Slightly better
Yeah.
than nothing is...
We're treading into dangerous territory again.
We are. We are.
Hi, Ross.
I suspect my journey across the Pacific will involve a bunch of those tests.
Yeah, well, you hitting Gen Con, are you?
I am.
Fantastic. I might even drive down to see you.
Might.
Oh, you're only like a couple of hours away from where we are. Not even that. We're like very central to both Gen Con and Origins. Origins is a little over an hour, and Gen Con's a little less than 2 hours drive.
So where we'll be staying, if we start walking to the convention at the same time as you start driving to the convention, we might end up there at the same time.
Yeah, normally when I do Gen Con, I stay literally across the road with the walkway at
Right.
the end. But yeah, I've got Marriott stuff, so it is what it is. Well, may not actually now because it's not like we've been using it for a while, but they keep sending me all the please come back.
The guff.
So
Yeah, I am exaggerating somewhat. I think it's only 6 blocks.
you'll be fine.
Yep.
You're not going to have to worry about quite as much traffic. So, well, you'll have more traffic because there'll be more convention goers there, but it won't be quite as bad as it was obviously pre-COVID. So Indiana's not really a lockdown kind of state, so who knows?
What was that, Clay?
Just got to watch out for the truckers.
You got to watch out for the homeless people, actually, more than anything else. We've been accosted by them many, many times. My daughter in particular, which did not impress me. And words were said to that effect.
Hmm.
It'll be an experience for you, that's all I can say, Dan.
Yeah, I have been to conventions in the past, but they're only Australian ones, and they're probably pale by comparison.
You've been overseas before, right?
Yeah.
Been to large cities before?
Define large city. I mean, I've been through LA before.
Oh, okay. But you've not been to LA?
I haven't. I didn't get out of the airport.
Okay. So, I mean, large city, Indianapolis, I think is about... well, downtown, you're probably looking at about 500,000, kind of in the general city area.
Well, that's the difference.
Roughly the same size as Cincinnati, I think.
Well, Melbourne's not a small place, but I think it's geographically large rather than populationally.
A lot of cities here in the States are. They have the kind of city area, which you'll know because there's skyscrapers everywhere.
Hmm.
And then you've got the greater metropolitan area, which is kind of, where things are at. So, demographics, 887,000 in 2020. Oh, yeah, getting close to 1 million.
In the whole city. That's not that bad. That's like Geelong, isn't it?
That's a bit bigger than Geelong.
Yeah, but honestly, you won't. You'll be at the convention centre, and you really won't have to worry too much about that.
What's the suburban population of Melbourne now? It's got to be 3 million.
Something like that, yeah. I know, man. I went to Shanghai, and when I was there, that was 20 million.
Yeah. Got a great.
Yeah, I was at a street festival in Manhattan, and that was 1 million people just in the street.
Well, that's New York. Isn't New York like 15 or 16
That's
million?
I don't know what it is now. This is back in 2000, so it's probably gotten bigger, way bigger since then.
Hmm.
Melbourne, there's only 2 people from Melbourne according to Wikipedia.
Right.
And one of them's left and living in the Sunshine Coast.
That's it.
No, according to this, Melbourne's about 4 million people.
Yeah, greatest suburban area. Right, there you go.
Yeah, coming up to maybe 5.
The thing about Melbourne is that it's really spread out. It's over a huge geographical area. I think Greater Melbourne's the same size as Greater LA.
9,992 square kilometres.
Right.
Past 5 million people in 2019, so you might be on your way to 6.
Right.
20 billion people live in Melbourne, everyone who's listening. So
20 billion.
half the population of the planet lives in Melbourne. Because Australia is big.
Bloody feels like it sometimes. You try and go anywhere, Friday afternoon traffic. I'm sure everybody
I was reading
every
somewhere
city
that
in the world
koalas are now endangered in three states in Australia.
depends
Everywhere but Kangaroo Island.
depends on how hungry you are.
You have to be pretty hungry to eat koala, I would have thought.
Yeah, I would have thought so too.
Speaking of koalas, I've got a cat sitting next to me, growling. Say hello, Oreo.
Koalas are not cute, people. They're just not.
No, they're mean and vicious. Rather like cats.
Are you molesting that cat, James?
No, he's just a very friendly cat. He's like the ultimate cat. He's just brilliant.
But yeah, like, I mean, you're talking big cities. I mean, I've spent time in Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be right at home.
Go to Dam Square on a Saturday afternoon. You can't move.
You honestly won't be doing much. You'll just be at the convention, and that's it. So
I think I'll be
you'll
going
just be
from
running games.
gaming table to booth to gaming table to booth.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
With the odd wander around the convention thrown in when spare time is available.
But good to know. I'll see what we're doing around that time.
There is a company dinner being planned.
It's normal. Yep.
There's a company meeting being planned. But I'm going to have to get a few more t-shirts made up.
Some excellent restaurants are still open and going. Last few Gen Cons we've gone to has largely been Dawn and I will just pick and choose what we want to attend.
Hmm.
And then the rest of the time we just kind of sit in the bar and drink, which is kind of nice. We'll go out and eat good food.
If I was doing that, there's an awful long way to go to just do that.
Oh, yeah, well. Yeah, you need to make the most of it.
Yep.
Are you getting some days in beforehand and after, or?
I believe we're going in the day before. I don't think I'll be there the day after because with travel time and the possibility of quarantines, I have to be careful about how much leave I'm using.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good point.
If you're doing quarantine, why couldn't you just work from there?
Well, I can, but I'll have to get somebody to bring my work laptop to me because I'm certainly not taking that with me.
So is it really possibly having to do quarantine for international travel?
Coming back, yeah, that's still a real possibility.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know, actually. My soon-to-be manager is Australian. He's been in Melbourne, so he came over to spend time with his family and didn't seem to have too many problems from the US.
Who knows what the world's going to do? I mean, we're in the middle of February and we're still talking about August, so...
Yeah. There's plenty of time for even more crazy to be shown, so who knows?
We might go from Omicron to Oh my God and it all changes again. So, laying these plans in the hope that they come off, but accepting that they might not as well.
We'll see what we can do. Would be good to catch up with you. So we'll try and coordinate closer to the time.
I think Todd submitted event registrations today for...
There you go.
I think for basically the whole company. I think he was tasked with doing that, so there'll be some Demonworld played, which is good. There'll be some Interceptor played, which is good. And then a few other of those unimportant systems.
Seeing who the sponsors are. Catan Studio will be there. Sun King Brewery is always worthwhile going to, if you can. Good beer.
Hey, Matty.
Local restaurants basically get into it. They rename all their menus and kind of D&D them up. It's
really?
Kind of, yep.
Star Trek them. How silly did you go with that 1879 Kickstarter?
Me? One of everything.
Oh, there you go.
Well, one of everything that was new on offer.
Right. One of everything you didn't have before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Turns out it's only about $45.
Right.
Because you have everything.
Pretty much. I think the only thing I don't actually own at the moment is the War Games core rulebook.
Oh, right. What, you've got the army books? Okay.
Well,
There's
you
quite
see,
a lot of the core rulebook.
I had this bloody silly idea that I might be able to get some, half-decent photographs of the miniatures, and they were painted, and get some inspiration, particularly for the Samsut troops that I'd painted, and,
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yes. I don't know where I should go with this. But anyhow,
we've been there before.
It'll happen. It'll happen, I promise, it'll happen.
No worries. I know.
I've painted some British.
It wasn't a criticism directed at anyone or anything.
Right.
It was just me, buying something on impulse. Impulse purchasing.
It's a way of life, isn't it, Kle? War Master.
There's a few fantasy armies bought on impulse in there as well.
Yeah.
War Master's a good game, though.
Speaking of which, I still need to talk to your brother.
Oh, yes, I did mention. Did you get his number in the end?
Oh, I think I've got it. I just need to confirm it with you. But, I mean, there were so many things I was supposed to do this week that I just haven't done because it was like I get to the end of the day and I got nothing left. Emotionally wrung out.
All right, I'm going to leave you all to be. I've got to get some dinner going.
Dinner time.
Catch up. Yep, dinner time here.
Spiced turkeys.
I don't know what I would have just cooked some noodles for the boys, otherwise they'll chew their arms off or something, you know how boys are. So, anyway.
Be well, James. Be well. And
you guys, most importantly,
stay
well.
Good luck with the job, the background check things.
Time.
That's
it's
really frustrating because I was hoping that, 14th was going to be the 14th, but 14th.
Yeah, same as well. I could have bought some miniatures or something, who knows. But, but no, not to be.
You can always go searching for those orcs.
I'm still searching for them, but then again, we're going to be selling up, so I'm more incentive to basically find them.
Right.
Because we're going through everything and literally liquidating everything. So might be some cheap Demonworld miniatures going on the market very soon.
They would be cheap except for postage.
There is that. Yep, there is that. But, there might be some locals here maybe are interested. We'll see.
The locals being anywhere in the lower 48.
You got it.
Yep.
Yeah. Or I might hang on to them in the hope that I might actually get them painted one day.
Yeah, sneak them into the RV.
Oh, no, we're not doing RV. We're actually buying property.
Yeah, so. But between where you are and where you're going.
Oh, no. The plan is to basically purchase and then we'll move stuff and then sell up here.
Right.
So, so we don't get caught in that. Oh my God, I've got to live in a trailer park for a period of time, indeterminate thing.
Right.
Not really into that.
No.
Been there, done that, read the book, got the shirt. No, won't do that. But now I know I need to get some more brushes, so I have to look at those.
Uncle Jeff.
Yeah. If I have to.
If you have to.
He's put our prime up by another $20, so it's like,
Bugger.
Alright, crew, continue to look after yourselves. Stay well.
Thanks, James.
Have a good one. Good to chat to you.
You guys too. It's always good to catch up. And hopefully one day we might even meet up in person.
Yeah.
Dan sounds like it's going to be sooner rather than later, which might be bad for him, but we'll just see how it goes.
You're afraid he might, warn us and scare us off?
Yeah, probably. But it's an open invite. If anyone who comes over here, you're more than welcome to crash out. A place to launch pad. No worries.
I hear you got good barbecue in Tennessee.
Oh, we're going to find out actually this weekend coming up. They're actually they're doing what was it? They're actually cutting up a pig, so they're doing all the butchering and stuff. Trying to get the page up. There was something else that they were doing. It was just like, oh my God. This is a homesteading festival that we're going to. It's roasting pork in a lakaja or lakaha box. A whole pork being roasted within a few hours. So it's a particular style of cooking. So we'll see what that's all about. Should be good. Unless you don't like pork, in which case it won't be good. But
well, that's more like a you problem if you don't
Life
like
sounds
pork.
pretty shit if you don't like pork anyway.
well, cultures and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it looks good. So hopefully it tastes as good as it looks. But we will find out. These things are always interesting because it's people have been doing it for a while, so you kind of you pick up some really interesting stuff from them. But
Very good.
we'll be good. We'll be good. All right, guys. Be well.
Thanks, James.
Stay well.
See ya.
Yeah.
Later.
Bye.
Ciao.
Going back to the boots, Matty?
Just finished them, actually.
Nice.
I've figured out what my problem has been with these new boots. I've never
Yes.
been happy with the shine that I've gotten off them.
Yeah.
It's always been subpar and not real long lasting.
Right.
And so there are two problems. First problem is that I'm actually wearing them in an environment where they will get scuffed and damaged.
Yeah.
Because I did them on Wednesday just for shits and giggles, and by Thursday Arvo they were ruined again.
Right.
The second problem is that the Kle Parade Gloss has changed its formulation at some point between 2018 and 2021.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different. I've been using the last little scrapes out of my last tin of the 2018 stuff, and it goes on so much better. It goes on hard,
Right.
and it takes a lot of work to polish in. And when it takes, it's a beautiful. It's an actual parade gloss.
Right.
Whereas the stuff that currently is available is soft, and it goes on soft, and it just doesn't really take.
Right.
And it doesn't come up with a really nice luster. It's more designed for, I guess, buffing instead of spit shining.
Right.
So yeah.
So that means you're going to have to find a different product.
Probably.
Interesting, another COVID casualty.
Oh, with or of?
Of a casualty of COVID, I would think the supply chain issues forcing them to possibly change their recipe.
Oh, no. This is...
You said 2018 to 2021. So
Yeah, maybe. I thought you were reading the newspaper for a second. Who's died now?
No. Oh, nearly my brushes, but they're all...
I was going to say, me. It's me. But that's only really
It's probably just a cheaper formulation. That's gonna be why, I reckon.
Gonna have to find another supply.
Made by S.C. Johnson.
watched something very soothing yesterday, Kle.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy in the US, and he was starting his John Deere Model A 2-cylinder tractor. These things are affectionately known as the John Poppers because of the way the 2-cylinder sounds. It's got that sort of pop pop sort of a noise. It's incredibly satisfying watching this guy drive off in this tractor. Top, 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 top.
A little 2-cylinder diesel, was it?
I think they're a petrol motor, but yeah, effectively.
Yeah. I actually have to get out and service my John Deere mower today, actually.
Do you?
Yeah.
Some oil.
Yeah, it needs oil change and, greasing all the nipples and all that businesses, and I'm going to try and order some spare parts for it. Need a new front axle and spindle and things.
Just so we don't get slammed by overeager fact checkers
Mm.
who, might, blow up this stream's audience by 50,000%
Right.
because we said one thing wrong about China.
Oh.
The nuclear reactor next to the ski jump at the Olympics isn't a nuclear reactor, it's actually a steel mill.
Right.
That's all.
Okay.
Powered by a nuclear reactor or not?
No.
I doubt it.
Powered by Model A John Deere's.
I was just mentioning it because, fact checker organizations have been fact checking memes recently, and I saw that they fact checked one on a Twitter account that had 4 likes and 2 retweets about the truck protest.
Right.
And in doing so, Twitter picked up the fact check and then spread the meme, to a much, much, much larger audience.
Right.
To the point where I saw it. I'm like, good job, idiots.
I don't know how I would deal with such notoriety.
You'd probably have to find a new job.
I want to do that anyway.
See, can only be good.
Live life to the mantra of Yaz and the Plastic People.
I think the kids these days call that one YOLO.
YOLO. Yep. They even come back to a point when you reshape them. It's ridiculous.
They're not bad. My first one of them's died.
Hmm.
But I was using it pretty consistently.
I really don't expect them to last all that long.
No, I didn't either. I got quite a few minis out of it. What am I on now? I've got the 1 and the 2 at the moment. I think the 0 died.
Right.
I'm using the 2 as we speak. Just committed that one to death as well by using Agrax Earthshade on it.
Yeah. Oh, now, here's a question. I think that might be khaki. Don't know whether it could have been the German beige. It might have been the khaki. Those colours are so ridiculously similar that it's probably not going to matter.
I'm trying to work out which colour you painted on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the problem with pointing something like paint box at it is that it's had a wash over the top of it, so it skews the results.
Yeah, I generally will have a range of those colours that I will use. So, like your German beiges and
Yep.
khakis and even a stone greys. And then I'll do the same for the sands as well.
Yeah.
Desert sand, Iraqi sand, blah blah blah, whatever they are. And I will just let them be swapped in and out for different minis and different sets of minis for the same group. So there's a little bit of variation.
Yeah, it's reasonable too. It's a good call. One of the things about these brushes, I think, is that on average you're about a size smaller. You know,
Yeah, right.
you're looking at 2 that are marked O. You know, I'd equate the Modi FX 0 with the Gold Maple 1. So. Cross belts. So we didn't finish the boot discussion. What are you going to do?
I'm going to look for a new product.
Right.
It'll probably have to be mail order or from some fancy boot place.
At least you can be very specific about it. You can say, I want your product to do this. And
Yeah, probably.
if it doesn't, I'm sending it back.
Problem is that I've already had to spend too much money on replacing things, this fortnight.
Yeah.
What I hadn't said was that I put my nice Sennheiser headphones through the washing machine accidentally last night.
No.
250 down the drain and another 250 to replace them.
That hurts.
It does.
Especially when you can't blame anybody else.
I've also had to replace slave collars and socks, boot socks, this week. And some incidental grooming products as well, which has all run to about $600.
Ouch! Ouch.
Well, buy in bulk, no real discount, but you only have to do it once a year.
Yeah. Yes, I started Joe's birthday purchases. So I'm digging a financial hole for myself at the moment, waiting to get paid.
Getting paid. What a nice phrase. Yeah, very next it'll be work trousers, and that'll be another $160.
Yeah.
I need better trousers, ones that'll actually last.
Ones that are a bit tougher.
Yeah, I get 2 months of wear out of a pair of trousers, basically, before they're just... No.
That's not a heck of a long time, is it?
Not for $80 workwear trousers.
Right.
What do you do that taxes them?
I do a lot of warehouse stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, bending at the knees will just rip out your crotch.
Yeah.
I suppose I could do my back instead.
Is that cheaper in the long run?
Oh, shit, if I'm going to die tomorrow, probably.
Are you?
No, unfortunately not. I visited my doctor on Wednesday to discuss my most recent test results.
Right.
He told me I've got to look forward to arthritis of the knees,
Mm-hmm.
gout, and cirrhosis of the liver.
Gout!
You don't suffer from gout, do you, Dan?
No.
Because that would really shit up your painting.
It would. No, my favourite affliction
Gout
is
is bad.
fibromyalgia.
Gout also affect the hands, does it?
Any joint.
Joints.
It's a joint thing.
Joint inflammation or something, is it?
Had that
Crystallized urea in your joints.
Nice.
My old man suffers from it pretty bad.
Isn't it a liver sort of a thing related?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liver or kidneys, one of the two.
Oh, you're right. It's probably kidneys. No, I don't have anything like that. I've got ischemic heart disease and fibromyalgia. I don't really want any more, thanks, although the arthritis is coming.
Mm.
Kle and I have discussed this at length in the past, but those first 3 steps in the morning, they're a doozy.
Yeah.
I feel you.
I look like those big guys from The Fifth Element going down, walking around in the morning.
Yep. I'm literally hanging onto the edge of the bookcase between the bed and the bathroom to get moving in the mornings, and it isn't getting better, so I figure that's my lot. Size myself up for a Zimmer frame at some point.
Come on, Elon Musk. Get with the bloody program.
What?
Start designing exoskeletons. Power armor.
Ones that can fly themselves back to where you want them to go. Running out of time.
Getting close. What's on the cards for the rest of the day?
I have a long and involved discussion immediately following this with Ross about Demonworld rules. Then after that I'm going out to dig a hole.
6 feet deep.
I hope it isn't that deep, but I suspect that it might be a fair percentage of that deep. No, it's to expose the stormwater outlet to unblock it.
Well, I won't tell your council if you don't.
Because I'm only operating on the residential side of it, I don't need to tell them. I'm not going to touch their assets at all.
Yeah, but they might get pissy anyway.
Well, it's council. Although we're in the good books with our council at the moment because we decommissioned a pool, or the spa, so they're happy with us because they now no longer have to worry about the fact that we've got a spa. There will be nobody drowning in it. Mind you, it's just a great big gaping hole in decking at the moment, so somebody might break their neck, but, you know, hey.
It's safer than drowning.
Safer than drowning. We did leave the pool fencing up, though, so you're going to be working to break your neck. So yeah, what do you guys got on?
Tractor maintenance aside.
Yeah, not much. Tractor maintenance, and then I can get out there and actually do some work. Because the grass is eating everything up at the moment. Because I've been stuck inside or not well for a while.
Yeah. That's the problem, those kinds of chores don't go away.
No, they don't. So, that'll be me. Bit more painting, that's it.
Oh, you've got to take the lows with the highs, I guess. What about you, Matty?
As soon as I clean the Voot Black off my hands, I'm going to do some editing because I've been really, really slack this week. So I'm going to do some editing and hopefully get a few hours through that, and then I'm going to probably try and fix the roof again. Yesterday afternoon, just before 5, a really heavy downpour came through. Just blew right over here and just... I haven't looked at any damage yet. But if I find any, I will try and patch it. I need something better to do that with.
Was it windy there in Brisbane?
No, not windy, just got really, really hot. Dark clouds came over about 2 o'clock, and then just before 5, the heavens opened up for about 15 minutes. Probably got 15-20 mil of rain. It's almost like being in Darwin again. Short, violent rainfall. Just not as much of it.
It's actually what Bangalore's like.
Tropics.
I have been subjected to a Bangalore bath. Wouldn't recommend it.
On the plus side, I have found a cheaper alternative to my bloody workwear trousers.
Not wearing any?
Well, I actually had that discussion with the boss's son yesterday. He came by to say g'day because he could.
Right.
And him and all 4 of his brothers, they're all gorgeous looking Greek boys. You know, they work out and they beautifully tanned, you know, good looking boys. And I mistook him for his youngest brother, who I first met as he jumped out of the car and came into the store wearing nothing but boxer shorts.
Right.
And there was a whole swarm of little old ladies around, and they all swooned. And so I relayed that story, and we all had a good laugh about it. But, yeah, in my parting, I said, you know, I tried it once myself, and being the size that I am, it wasn't appreciated.
The advantages of working from home.
Yeah, true.
Pants optional. Well, time is up. Thank you, gentlemen, for your company. The good conversation, excellent discourse, and the opportunity to share a little part of my life with you. So we
I
are
appreciate it. It's good fun.
2 hours in, 4 colours on, 5 colours on. It's not bad. Not bad at all.
Yeah, that's nice.
So probably another 3 hours work and they'll be done. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your weekends, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Have a good one.
Cheers.
Yep.
Thanks.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.